Good to have it here on the show. You are listening to the Robby Rock Show here on WKNH Keene 91.3 FM, and whether you're listening through your FM radio or you're listening through the power of the internet, it's nice to have you here. It's nice to have you tuned in.
And where are you originally from?
Originally from Bedford in Bedfordshire, England.
Why did you move to Keene, New Hampshire?
I moved to Keene, New Hampshire because my wife and I we're just basically after an adventure. It was just, we don't have a mortgage, we don't have kids. Let's maybe go and live somewhere else in the world. And she was seeking out and was seeking out, but currently doing a master's degree. And that was in Keene, and we decided to come and visit, and then now here we are.
What would you say is like the biggest difference between Bedford and Keene, New Hampshire?
I don't think there is one, really. The cultural difference, I don't think there is. I think culture-wise, obviously, between England and America, there's a huge difference on many different spectrums, but they're both a kind of similar sized town. So in that respect, for me, Keene is a Bedford, if that makes sense. And same the other way around. They're both nice towns and places that I think are really cool.
Which one do you like better?
Right now, no, I just can't answer that. I have to say they're both. I love Bedford. I absolutely love Bedford. I wouldn't live anywhere else in England. But at the same time, I'm very excited to be in Keene.
When you moved to Keene, what would you say is like the biggest challenge from like adjusting to living in the United States?
Just not knowing anyone. I've got a lot of friends in California, and we were originally thinking California, but then for my wife's master's degree and stuff that I wanted to pursue, it seemed like the East Coast was a good place, and also it's kind of a good center point for England and other parts of America. So I kind of see the New Hampshire being right in the middle of the West Coast and England, so I can get to both within like 7 or 8 hours, if that makes sense. Also, we've got family in Connecticut, which is another reason why. And so but where we are right now in New Hampshire, when we arrived, we didn't know anyone. So I'd say that's probably the biggest thing, is like going out and making friends and being yes people, just saying yes to everything and just being socially ready to jump on whatever's going on.
Would you say that since like you have a lot of friends on the West Coast and Connecticut, would you say that you were like more upset that you weren't able to like live with them or live closer to them, or was like going over to the East Coast and New Hampshire kind of like a big adventure for you?
That, yeah, a completely big adventure. I really, really was excited with the idea of moving to Keene, New Hampshire, and not necessarily knowing anyone, and not having to worry about anything or had to act a certain way or anything like that. It was almost like a chance to sort of recreate my personality, and not in like not in a way that's fake or anything, but like just sort of go in and be like, this is who I am. And that was a really exciting thing for me.
Yeah, definitely. So basically what you're saying is you get to be like your genuine self without any like repercussions or anything like that.
Exactly, right? That, yeah.
How did you get involved with WKNH?
I sent an email to wknh.org. Basically, when I'm a full-time musician, but when I was moving to Keene, I said to my wife, I want to do 2 things when I go to Keene, or when I go to New Hampshire. One is I want to do stand-up comedy, and 2 is I want to be a DJ. And so the DJ thing is happening, but the stand-up comedy thing still isn't. But, so anyways, I found my local radio station, which is WKNH, and I sent in an email, and here I am. I basically said I want to be involved. I'd love to have a show. I want to watch other people do radio shows, and I just want to be involved in this community.
What would you say is your favorite part about WKNH?
I think just the freedom of you can do whatever you want. You can have whatever show you want as long as you're not playing top 40, and as long as you're using appropriate language and playing, relatively appropriate music. And I actually remember when I came and had my first meeting with Derek and Dave, they were like, you can have a chat show for 2 hours if you want. You don't even have to play any music. And I just thought that's so cool. There's always a friendly face here as well. Like, you can just show up and be like, hey, how's it going? And
what's like, you do a show now, obviously, right? Well, what's your show like? What's it all about?
So it's called the Robby Rock Show, but it's not just completely rock music. I play it pretty much anything I'm inspired by. A lot of the times throughout the week, I like write, if I hear a song or get inspired by a song, I write the song down on my phone. And then when it comes to Thursday night, I will make a playlist out of whatever I've written down throughout the week. So it really is just an everything show, but I would say alternative music and hopefully good conversation too.
Earlier you said you were a musician, right? Is that what you said? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What instruments do you play?
Mainly guitar, drums pretty terribly, bass adequately, as good as a guitarist can on bass, and I try and sing as well.
How long have you been playing guitar?
I've been playing guitar since I was about 9 years old, so yeah, fair old time now.
Is there like a reason why you decided to play guitar rather than the piano or something like that?
Then my sister came home from school one day and said to my dad, they're giving guitar lessons at school. And my dad said, well, I'll pay for your lessons if you come back and teach me what you learn, so I can learn too. And I still had no interest in the guitar at all at this point. But then all of a sudden there was a guitar hanging around the house, and I guess I just picked it up. I don't remember the moment that I picked up the guitar and thought, this is cool. But I always loved rock music, even before playing the guitar. And I guess I must have just picked it up at some point and figured something out. And then from there onwards, it was just all about the guitar. You
said that when you first got to Keene, you wanted to do radio DJs, and you also wanted to do stand-up comedy. Why stand-up comedy?
Honestly, I just love entertaining people. That's my favorite thing in the world. Whether that's through songs or doing a magic trick or playing a live gig. And I want to try stand-up. So I think that's just really it. It's just another avenue to be creative. And the same thing with the radio. So why I'm doing the radio thing, like, I just want to be creative in as many avenues as I can. And so I'm just ticking the boxes. It's what I'm trying to do.